This boy and girl are going to be well equipped when the time comes to take their places as worthy members of adult society.
Aloha, y'all. This is Daniel Eisenman, the host of the Breaking Normal podcast, where my guests are all invited based on the frequency of synchronicity, all done in person, and all trailblazers in the breaking of all things normal. All right, welcome back to the Breaking Normal podcast. I'm here with David. What's your last name, David?
Raday.
Raday.
Yes.
How do you spell that?
Raday.
That's such a cool last name.
Yeah, it's Polish. It actually stemmed, I guess when they came over, it was Radecheski.
Okay.
Which sounds way cooler.
I don't know.
They should have kept it.
Raday's a little easier to remember.
It's easier. But everyone's like, is it Raday? It just, Radecheski seems like actually it would be simpler to pronounce off the bat.
And you're the founder of Elixium, is that correct?
That is correct.
All right, yeah. I'm really excited because once again, Yovel, the awesome producer here at Let's Do Podcast, has made this connection, and every connection he's made so far has been very fruitful in many ways.
Yes.
I mean, actually, we were talking about fruits right before you got on the show, watermelon and pineapple.
And pineapple, yeah.
Do you have a favorite fruit?
Favorite fruit would probably be, that's a really good question. Dude, watermelon probably. Like a good watermelon.
Have you ever had a good watermelon from South Georgia in the month of July?
No.
Where's the best watermelon you've ever had?
I don't even know.
Okay.
I couldn't even tell you.
I could give you possibly a watermelon that will make your answer that much more secure and potentially change your life forever.
Yeah. I actually do know I used to hate pineapple. Absolutely hate pineapple. First pineapple I ever had was in Costa Rica. My wife was like, you absolutely have to try this pineapple. I'm like, I don't eat pineapple. It's awful. I didn't like the texture. I didn't like how it like the feeling in your mouth, like it's super acidic.
Yeah.
Tried it. Have been eating pineapple consistently ever since.
And that's probably because you had a ripe, possibly organically grown locally.
It was
a local
for sure.
ripe.
Yep.
Because I think pineapple or one of these, is pineapple even a fruit? The way it grows in the single amazing situation, like flowery, tasty, potentially abrasive situation if you eat them green.
Yep.
And that's how a lot of them get shipped, is when they're picked more green. And I don't know if they ever truly ripen off the vine. So if you eat them, if you let them ripen as long as possible and then you eat them locally, they're not going to ship those most likely when they're that soft.
That's fair.
And that ripe. When you eat those, that can also be a life-changing situation.
Yeah. Which could have been exactly what I experienced. It's potentially, that could be the case.
Elixium, my understanding, is a longevity clinic.
Yeah. So we are proactive preventative health is what our goal is. And it's to be able to actually truly provide patients with care that they don't get provided from their primary care or any other doctor that they're going to probably typically see on a regular basis. And truly just listen to them. I think that's what we lack in Western medicine right now, is just the ability to actually listen to each individual patient, what their goals are, what they're actually dealing with, the signs and symptoms, and not putting Band-Aids on things anymore.
Awesome. Well, I can definitely see why Yovel connected us.
Yeah.
Because you're local here in Wheat Ridge. Is that where the...
Yeah, clinic is in Wheat Ridge. Yep.
Okay.
We're actually moving soon, just down the street, which is Arvada. So, but yeah.
Awesome.
Yep.
Well, I have a quick story about pineapples in Costa Rica and potentially longevity.
Okay.
There was a times that I was experimenting with water fasting.
Yeah.
Whether it was 3 days, 4 days. I think the first one I did was 4 days. The one I'm thinking of now was in Costa Rica, and it was like 3 days. So it was 24 hours times 3, and we knew the hour that was coming.
Yeah.
And I knew that hour so well that what I did was I found like the ripest pineapple I could, and then sliced it all up and then put it in the freezer where it would be like almost a slushy material by the time I was going to break that fast. Mm-hmm. And that was probably the most memorable meal of my life.
Yeah.
Is after that.
That sounds fantastic, especially after a fast.
Because I had learned from previous fast that it kind of matters what you eat.
Really?
Like not to just jump into gorging on like barbecue or fast food or something. Because your stomach may be extra sensitive and less digestive power.
Yep.
Fasting. I bring up fasting because I wanted to share the pineapple Costa Rica story.
Yep.
And to see if that's part of y'all's protocols, what you think about that, and what are the main protocols or Elixium, what someone might expect to get out or be doing or experiencing with working with you.
Yeah. Fasting, the research is it's so dependent on the person. It seems like there's biases, obviously, with anything on the internet nowadays. There's biases on polar opposite sides. I talked to a dietitian in my last podcast. What was that, last week? And she's very against fasting. She's like, water fasts, they just don't work. Like your gut needs, even though it will potentially heal in a sense during that time, but it needs diversity. And the only way it gets diversity is through the foods that you eat and the diversity of foods. Granted, most people nowadays don't eat a diverse group of food. They kind of stick to one specific thing. But then there's the alternative. It's like, when you eat, your gut goes through a lot during that process of digestion, and the inflammation caused, and, potentially, depending on what you eat, the lack of bacteria that you're getting from the substances that you're eating. On top of that, the bacteria that you're promoting in the gut that could take over other bacteria that are less plentiful. So there's a lot. The anti-inflammatory component I like. There's a cognitive component that I like. I say I like, but the longest fast I think I've ever done is 48 hours, and I couldn't do it anymore. I also hate I'm a fairly skinny person naturally, so I have to eat a lot in order to maintain my size. So the thought of like a 4 to 7 day fast is just like unfathomable to me. So, but yeah, I think there are benefits. I think there are downsides, like anything. I think if you do fasting in moderation and you do it strategically, I think there's a place for it.
Meaning potentially like intermittent fasting?
I definitely like intermittent fasting.
Is that
I think
protocol
that's huge.
that you're currently on?
I am terrible with my diet. I'm not going to lie.
Oh, wow.
I'm terrible with my diet. I'm on the run a lot. So I try and do my best, but I've never been good with my diet. And I'm naturally, like I said, a lean person. So I've never had to watch my weight, which is probably an issue.
You look pretty strong.
Well, thank you.
I mean, you must work out.
I do.
Yeah.
Working out, like, obviously, like the health and wellness space is a big part of my life. It has been since I was a kid. My parents used to own gyms, used to do fitness competitions, all those types of things. So like I come from a family of health nuts, essentially.
Did you say you used to do competitions?
Yeah, we used to, my entire family has done like bodybuilding competitions. My parents have taken it the furthest. They're both professionals.
Wow.
They do it
like currently
at a master's level. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So they're in good shape. And then I did it I think I did like 10 or 12 shows. It just wasn't for me at the end of the day. Super selfish.
I'm so curious about that.
Yeah.
I mean, because what kind of got me into health was I had a competition with my college roommates who could get in the best. We had a bodybuilding competition, and the judges were our roommates.
Beautiful.
Leading up to spring
Love
break.
that.
And then I actually learned how food affects my body.
Yeah. And that's what you do learn. You learn a lot about your body. And you learn how to listen to your body, and you learn how to, I mean, it's crazy. The more shows you do, the more, because when you're that lean and when you're that dialed and your diet is that specific, the slightest tweak and you can see it. It's like the craziest thing. So you actually know, like, all right, if I intake X amount of sodium, I know exactly what's going to happen. If I eat, X amount of carbohydrates versus not, I know exactly how my body's going to react to that. And I know how long to wait. Like, do I carb load X amount of time before the show? Do I carb load, I always was like, I would carb load almost like 36 hours, which was super weird because typically like carbs hit your body fairly quick, but I would look better 36 hours later than I would, prior to either loading or doing it closer to the show. So, I mean, it's crazy the things that you learn. And then the water intake, amount of water intake, it's not a healthy sport. It's funny that you look at the people on stage and you're like, well, that's the epitome of health. And they're like this close to like, I'm going to pass out on stage.
Yeah.
It's terrible for you.
Yeah.
On top of the drugs and all that stuff. It's not good.
Wow. But that's cool. So you have siblings too?
Yeah. I have she's 13 months younger.
Wow.
Yeah.
A younger sister.
Yeah.
Okay. And y'all all competed as.
Yeah. We actually did one show as a family.
Wow. Man.
Yeah.
Did you know about this? Okay.
Yeah. My dad and I actually started it. I was like 18 and I had, the pictures of bodybuilders on my wall. Like every kid probably did to an extent. They had a picture of like what they wanted to do. Yeah. And so there was a competition. They had just started the men's physique category, which was like the step down from bodybuilding. So it was more like, at the time, it was the athletic beach goer.
Okay. Yeah.
The guy that you're like going to look at and be like, that's a great physique on the beach. Mm-hmm. And I was like, Dad, we should do it. Like, let's just do a show together. And he was like, I'm in. Like, we're both in fairly good shape. And we ended up doing a 7-day like cut, essentially. It was the most ridiculous thing. Because like my next, 3 shows after that, I did a 26-week prep. So condensing it down into 7 days was outrageous.
So that's like all you did? That's how long you had to prepare?
I did a 26 weeks of preparing, which was probably too long.
For the Beachbody one or for
for the beach?
Okay.
Yeah.
But the 7-day cut leading up to it?
That was, so the 7-day cut was the first show I ever did. I was like super amateur, super green in the industry. It was a still new category, so there wasn't a ton of information out there as to like what the judges are actually looking for, because it's a subjective sport.
So you were just trying to get like really ripped with the muscle that you had.
Yeah.
And what does a 7-day cut look like?
It was eating cleanish. It was not good. I didn't really do much, I guess. I took out water like 3 days before, which is stupid.
You stopped drinking water.
It's like you gradually stop drinking water.
Wow.
It was dumb, because if you think of like the physiology of it, it's like there's a lot that goes into actually, if you want to strip water out of your body, you have to do a lot more than just stop drinking water. Like that just doesn't work like that.
You have to like sweat it out, or
there's like, you play with your sodium levels. You have to play with your carbs, because obviously carbs hold water. Okay. So if you're, eating carbs or eating things with sodium on it, then obviously the water is going to stay within within your body or within your skin, because the goal is to get your skin as thin as possible.
Oh, wow.
Either way, 7 days was stupid. It was pointless, but it was a good learning experience, and it got us in to, the industry, I guess, and understanding like the ins and outs. We met good people during it. So, and I've met great people ever since doing the shows that I've done. So
when you mentioned the drugs, how common are drugs in these competitions? I mean, like, is that just like everyone knows everyone's on drugs?
It's more prevalent than anyone thinks. Yeah. The bikini girls on stage, even at the local level, are probably doing something. Whether it's Anabar, they're doing something.
And do you do anything like that?
I used to. Yeah. I used to. I mean, yeah. When I was trying to get to that pro level, my last national show, I did a hefty cycle. And then I did a local show by myself. I trained myself. The goal was essentially to go from I'm not in shape to being stage ready and like go time, the best I've ever looked, best performance. I did the Colorado State, and I wanted to do it in 6 weeks. And I was like, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to train myself to do it. I've never trained myself to do it. I've always had a coach or someone helping me do it. And I actually ended up winning the show. But the cycle I did was just outrageous.
Like the cycle of steroids?
Yeah, of just yes.
Or I know so little about that, and I doubt that's what you thought we were going to be talking about today.
It comes up a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
I bet it's helpful to know that side of things now that you're in the field that you're in.
It definitely is. Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't know much about that world. I know about the food world. I brought you some gifts. Let me see how this relates to what you were using.
Yeah.
All right. So this is elk velvet.
Yeah. Yep.
Freeze dried raw with liver and heart freeze dried raw.
Yep.
I love taking 5 of these before a workout.
Yeah.
So there's that for you. And the elk velvet is known to have IGF-1 in it.
Beautiful. I actually looked at all your products before we came on today.
All right. And this one's a little more basic, but the best. Bison liver plus heart, multivitamin.
Yep.
And that's a tallow balm. But I wanted to, if you want to try some tallow, but that's all for you.
I appreciate it, man.
And I wanted to show you the elk velvet because that's kind of like known as nature's steroids or nature's growth hormone or great growth factor because it has IGF-1 in it.
Makes sense.
Is that something that what is IGF-1? Is that something you use? Is this something that's commonly used?
Yeah. Oh yeah. We use peptides quite a bit in the clinic from a clinic sense. We use peptides like a CJC 1295 or an ipamorelin, which
this goes to the clinic Elixium currently.
Yes,
this is what you're using. This is not
the bodybuilding side of things.
Okay.
I mean, even though it should probably be utilized more.
Okay.
But yeah. we do the CJC 1295 with the ipamorelin, which is fantastic for obviously the anti-aging components to the directly correlated to the IGF-1.
Okay.
Along with just being able to maintain your size, be able to metabolize better. I mean, the IGF-1 affects, I tell everyone, the body's cyclical. Like there's no one aspect of the body that you should hyper focus on. It's like, all right, your testosterone's low. I understand that. Testosterone therapy is obviously going to help, but it's cyclical. Why? What was the cause of the low testosterone? Is it lack of cholesterol intake? Like what's actually stimulating the lack of testosterone? Is it a gut related issue? Is it your gut's out of balance? Like there's so many things that go into potentially what we're treating directly, but then there's still that Band-Aid effect on that. It's like, yeah, we can treat the testosterone, but we also need to figure out what else is going on. But the IGF, we do IGF-LR3.
And this is a peptide.
Yeah, that's a peptide, and that's direct. That's as close as you can get to like a growth hormone without actually obviously putting synthetic growth hormone.
Okay.
But that's like the direct correlation to, all right, we're going to tell the receptors to essentially increase the production of IGF-1.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you think about consuming it? The antler.
I think it's fantastic.
Have you ever used it before?
No.
Okay.
I also looked at your bison testicles.
Yes, we're sold out as usual.
Are you?
We are working on this SKU. It might be a separate brand, but basically getting grass-fed, grain-finished bison testicles, because the grass-fed, grass-finished, we just can't keep up with the demand at all.
Yeah.
And so we either tried Vitamins has to make an exception, or we might create a separate brand, because we would have bison testicles potentially for all that are interested, at least for a little while, if we went that route. Yeah. And honestly, I have had interviews here, and 100% grass-fed, grass-finished beef, for instance, like cow, could have never been outside. That is a possibility. They can just be in a feedlot of hay. Yeah. Until that's interesting. This type of stuff doesn't happen with the bison industry, even though these bison would be eating grain at the end of their lives. Another big thing for the bison versus the cow industry, most bulls in the beef and cattle industry, my understanding, especially if they're being used for food, are castrated after they're done milking. And that's bison. Once again, that's not a standard practice in the industry. The way you get bison testicles are once the bison is killed.
Interesting.
So I'm just kind of almost thinking about this out loud. I'm about ready to make an exception, because I've been using the grain finished ones. I've started trying them. Yep. And the only thing I see the difference in the testicles, I've done both ways. It's kind of an interesting conversation, but breaking normal conversation. But I've handled both of them. I had to create the supply chain from scratch. Sure. We're not just buying these powders from New Zealand, which is awesome. Yeah, and so I've done a lot of freeze drying of testicles myself, because there are not many co-packers that know how to do that properly, and especially they're not used to getting. Anyways, it's a niche product. Yeah. And so I've handled a lot of these products myself. And the only bit difference I see in the grain-fed finished ones or grain-finished ones are that they're consistently a little bigger. But they look healthy. And when you freeze dry that meat raw, the powder that comes from that is outrageous. It is like the most potent animal-based powder that exists. I guess you can get into herbs, like herb extracts that are crazy. But you can just it's like you're taking in like the power of a herd. That's crazy. That's crazy. Anyways, so we might have that available for that. Anyways, it's interesting. Yeah, it is, because they're having beef testicle powders tested, and they have testosterone in them. Yeah. And then there's the argument how much of that gets absorbed if you're eating it versus injecting it. But I was not aware that you're part of your clinic's practice is peptides. Yeah. Because that's definitely a breaking normal topic. I've talked to a few people about it. And so is there any legal issues, or is this like a gray zone? Is this because in like the UFC, I don't think I've had people use these products, and specifically there was a gym in South Florida where Mike Chandler trains, and they made sure to tell me that Chandler was not using the elk velvet or the testicles. And because those are like controversial 100% products for that level of testing. And then I think I've also heard that about peptides. Peptides are a big one. That's there's definitely regulatory issues, especially with WADA, because WADA in the UFC is like
they're insanely specific as to like what you can and cannot do.
But for your average person, it seems like whatever they're insanely specific about,
Yeah.
like if they're saying you can't use elk antler
Yeah.
or bison testicles, I'm like, well, give me that then. I'm not
100%.
going under that level of scrutiny, and those are just foods.
Yeah.
So now we're like, and then that's the same thing with this peptide world, and
Right.
in a way, it sounds like.
Yeah, no, it's exactly right. Because I mean, we have some fighters that will come through, and I mean, it depends on, you know, obviously when they are actually competing as to how close to their competition they actually want to do the peptides. Because I mean, it's risky. They can't test for them necessarily. They claim they can. It's like, all right, if you take BPC 157, we'll be able to actually know that that's in your system. There's actually no way of doing that.
Okay.
It's impossible.
But they're definitely they're not encouraged to use.
They're
peptides.
not encouraged. No.
So what
Which
is
is
a peptide?
insane.
What are peptides at the most basic level?
It's a number of amino acids, essentially. All peptides consist of, because there's thousands of amino acids. So you can have, all right, let's say we're going to put 52 or 56 different amino acids in X peptide, and it's going to do something different. So it's going to tell receptors at the brain level or at the cognitive level, it's going to tell your pituitary to produce different things. Like everything is going to be tailored to that specific need. So like BPC 157 is specifically recovery based. It's an anti-inflammatory. So it's going to tell your body, okay, we need to decrease the amount of inflammation being produced, or, you know, it can be spot injected. There's research on both sides that it should and should not, that it actually doesn't affect the specific spot, but it's such a quick, I think it's like a 36 hour, I think. So the thought process is like, if you spot inject it, if you have knee issues or knee inflammation, chronic knee pain, if you inject it directly into the knee, it's obviously going to hit the knee first. And being 36 hours, you want to obviously get it into the spot before it depletes out of your system. But there's also a compounding effect to it as well. So if you take it consistently, there's that portion.
And it seems like a lot of people are claiming miraculous results.
Oh yeah, the BPC 157 is by far my favorite, for sure. That, like, stacked with a TB 500 or a thymosin beta, it's awesome for acute and chronic pain.
Wow.
It's
and
insane.
the gap for me is like, and maybe for other people, because once again, I know what's in these bottles, but when I'm like, so these amino acids, they're like, are these like food derived amino acids that are putting together into these peptides? Like, but one difference I definitely hear is it sounds like it's catalyzing your body to create the reaction it's wanting instead of giving your body the anti-inflammatory or the hormone.
Exactly. And that's the difference between, like, you know, let's take growth hormone versus like the IGF-1LR3 is it's like, all right, well, the growth hormone is a synthetic, like you're putting synthetic growth hormone into your body, which is obviously telling your pituitary to essentially shut down production of IGF-1, which is no good. So the idea is, okay, well, if we can just tell the receptors to increase production, then that's a better solution.
Through this magical peptide.
Through the peptide that contains the amino acids to actually target and do that specific thing.
Wow. I
mean, there are issues when it comes to, okay, well, if you're going to consistently tell your body to do that, it's going to go into overdrive, and like you need to cycle off of them just to make sure that we're not consistently telling the pituitary, like, all right, ramp it up, like on a consistent basis. Cause there's issues with that as well. Cause you're going to have fatigue, but generally speaking, I'd much rather that than doing a synthetic growth hormone, because there's so many anti-aging longevity aspects to growth hormone as a supplement or as a drug. I mean, there's so many benefits to that with just at the cellular level, at the mitochondrial level. I mean, there's benefit, but there's also many side effects when it's synthetic growth hormone versus when it's just a peptide telling your body, hey, this is what needs to be done.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's all fascinating. So is this one of the main things you're doing at your clinic?
Peptides is big.
All right.
For sure.
What are the other, what's like who's interested? Who should be interested in
everyone
visiting y'all, and why?
Everyone should be interested. The reason why is I tell people all the time, even younger guys, like let's take an 18-year-old kid that were to come up to me and say, hey, like, is there anything that I can do at your clinic? what's fantastic about what we're doing is if you were to go ask your primary care, hey, I need to get a, full list of markers pulled, whether that's blood serum, or I want to do a digestive gut test to see where my gut microbiome is at essentially baseline. They're going to be like, no, dude, you're 18 years old. Like, come to me when you're in your 50s or 60s and we'll figure it out, because we're reactive as a society. That's what we do. So an 18-year-old kid, I would 100% love to do a full list of labs on them and understand like what baseline looks to that person. So that when he comes to me or when he goes anywhere, when he's in his 30s and that decline starts to happen, or, life's, that he knows like, all right, well, baseline is X. So that's what I need to get back to be optimal. Instead of us guessing, because at this point, 40-year-old guy comes in with testosterone levels in the 200 to 300s. It's like, well, what does optimal look like for you? Like, where is optimal? People will push him up into 1100. Like, is that optimal though for him? Or is that, going to push up, red blood cell count, thicken the blood, causing cardiovascular risk potentially? There's downsides to being too high for your body. So it'd be nice to know, okay, at optimal at 18 years old, taking testosterone as, just one aspect of it, but your testosterone was at an 850. So that's the goal. We need to get you back to optimal at 850. Like, that's where your body wants to be. That's equilibrium for you. Again, like I said, there's other aspects that we would want to look at as to like why the decline happened, but to be able to get that baseline younger is fantastic. So we don't discount anyone based on age. Obviously, I'm not going to provide that person with anything. Like, I probably wouldn't do peptide therapy with that person. We probably wouldn't be able to treat much other than, supplementation. But I think understanding a baseline is huge. Other than that, I think anyone from 18 to 80 should see us, because there's ways to optimize and there's ways to increase your health span and, your ability to play with your kids, play with your grandkids, get out and do things, hike in your 70s. I think that's huge. It's hugely beneficial.
Well, I think you picked a particular topic there with the testosterone for a young guy, because that's also a seeming running theme, maybe not only on this podcast, but maybe around the world, around the United States, especially.
Yeah.
This idea that young men's testosterone and sperm count, et cetera, are declining, especially compared to what it used to be with our grandfathers and such. So that's a major topic in our zeitgeist currently.
It is.
What do you think are the highest lever moves for someone that is looking to get their baseline testosterone optimized? Like, what are ones to look at? The obvious ones.
The obvious signs and symptoms?
No, the obvious things someone could do to get in that optimal state.
From a natural standpoint?
Yes. Like at home, like until they may take it to the next level and start doing testing with someone such as yourself.
Yeah. It's hard, because it's probably tailored more towards environmental. So I would say being as organic as possible, staying away from processed foods is huge. Consuming cholesterol, dietary cholesterol, and not going towards that societal norm of cholesterol is bad for you. Staying away from, that's the crazy thing, is like staying away from the lotions, staying away from the plastics, staying away. There's so many things that we deal with. I mean, we just talked about it. Plastics probably more common in a glass bottle than, in potentially other plastics. Like, that's just outrageous.
It's a wild world.
And again, we haven't fact checked that, so I'm not actually sure if that's true, but that's what I've heard through the grapevine. But yeah, I mean, it's like everything is going against us when it comes to our overall health. It's just, and that's why, I mean, over time, generationally, we have 3 to 4 generations consuming essentially processed foods. So it's difficult, but I think going back to, pretty much what you preach, going back to like that, the ancient ancestry of like, that's how we used to eat. So that's as close to what we need to get to, to a lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the lifestyle we need to adapt as much as possible. I know it's difficult to do nowadays, but I think that is how you're going to stay optimal naturally longer.
And were there any foods that you would eat a lot of, or that like you're like, oh, I want my testosterone to get higher, so I'm gonna eat a lot of this, like whether it's oysters or liver?
Yeah.
Did you ever have any
No.
experiences like that?
My experience is different though, because I took testosterone when I was like 17. So I diminished mine very early because I didn't have the knowledge. I went with, okay, these group of guys are doing it.
In the bodybuilding world.
In the bodybuilding world, I mean, yeah, the people I hung out with were typically, they were the guys, the athletes, I did hang out with one that ended up doing a couple shows, but yeah, that was generally the world I was surrounded by.
Where was this at?
Colorado, Castle Rock is where I grew up.
All right.
And it was a lot of like me, doing my research, I guess, to an extent on how to become a bodybuilder. And that was kind of something that I'm like, well, this is obviously like what needs to be done. So I'm going to start now. So, and I did actually get a baseline test. Ironically, I was in like the 900s at that point.
Naturally.
And
you wanted to increase it.
Yeah. Synthetically.
Wow.
Yeah. Not knowing all the repercussions of what that would cause.
Well, so, I know of some people and how you were when you were 18 currently.
Yeah, 17, 18, yeah.
And I've heard of things they're using. And I'm like, I don't even know what that is. Like,
yeah.
What are there any really things people should stay away from if they're like in that
industry?
Like and they're in that part of their life. They're like, I'm 18. I want to get jacked. I want to be the rippest guy on spring
don't
break.
do any of it.
Don't do any of it.
No.
Is there any that is like more okay or all of it's terrible?
Eat good food. That's it. Because that's what I had to do regardless. So the testosterone and the drugs that I did, that did not make me big. It helped, but eating consistently, and there's downsides to that as well, but eating 6 to 7 times a day, taking in 5,000 to 6,000 calories a day, and working out.
Okay.
Yeah. Working out, my workouts back then were ridiculous. I would do like 1.5 hour workouts and then cardio in the morning, cardio at night. Like it was.
But see, I've heard that could be bad for testosterone when you work out.
It could be. Yeah. Steady state is not great. There's obviously components to like hypertrophy work, where like you can increase the amount of testosterone production, but it's so minute at that level. Like, I've talked to guys that are like, oh, well, I'm going to eat this, and that. And they're in their 40s, their testosterone's low. And they're like, oh, I need to fix it naturally first. Like I need to do all of these natural things. I'm going to eat better and I'm going to, start working out. And I'm like, well, it's going to change it like maybe at a max, maybe 100. So you'll get up into the 400s. That might be optimal for you. I can't imagine it is, but like once you're too far gone, it's like, well, there's really only one way to fix it, like to get you to optimal. Which is going to probably be supplementing testosterone.
You mean not peptides?
Not peptides, no.
But you think there's like a point of no return where someone's so low in testosterone they can't get their baseline?
I personally think so, yes.
So then that would be like where someone looks at TRT or something?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. And then how would someone know if they're in that zone? Or like if they're the symptoms or the signs, or if they're like...
that's a good question, because ultimately testing is going to be the only way to know. Signs and symptoms are obviously a huge portion of that, but signs and symptoms are so what's the word? They cross like the signs and symptoms of an imbalanced gut is very similar to a hormone imbalance, or potentially like a thyroid imbalance or whatever it is. Like it's like I said, the body is cyclical, so signs and symptoms are across the board. They can be the same. So I would say like if you're fatigued at 3:00 in the afternoon, don't automatically think, well, I need to get on testosterone. Like that's not the case. Cause there's so many other things that go into that. There's adrenal fatigue, cortisol levels. Your gut could play a role in that. Your thyroid could play a role in that. It could be cognitive. There's so many things that could go into that. So the only way to know is testing. And I mean, there is a level that I'd say, you know, if you're under 500, it's going to be really difficult to get up into that 8 to 900 range, if that's optimal for you. Naturally.
Am I picking up on a paradox here that how our bodies are cyclical? And like I thought I heard you alluding to this, and maybe I'm projecting a bit.
Yeah.
But I feel like if I get my testosterone tested, say if I know I'm gonna get tested Friday, then I could definitely do things to change my testosterone leading up to that, and that would definitely include eating a lot of animal cholesterol. Yeah. And maybe I would probably do things like have naked sun time, sleep deep as I can, wake up at sunrise if I can, do some heavy lifting if I can. For sure. And then also like the sexual aspect. If I got a new girlfriend, that would be maybe good. Increase, And I think that could make a difference for me. And then that could make a major difference in like if I got my cholesterol tested as well. Sure. Because then if I just want to have a low cholesterol, I could just go on a raw vegan diet for 2 weeks.
You could.
And then my testosterone, and then my sex drive might get real low.
True.
So, and that's, you know, I don't know what I think about the testing results. Yeah. If you're pretty in sync with your own body. Yes. Because that could throw someone for a spin, an analytical mind. Yeah.
And I mean, it's a lifestyle base. So if you came in first thing in the morning and got tested, I guess, and not thinking, okay, in the next 2 weeks, I'm getting tested. I'm going to do everything in my power.
I'm just thinking how I would probably do. Yeah. If I wanted to,
if you wanted to like compete to like, all right, I would test your levels at like baseline. I have a shitty lifestyle right now. And then 2 weeks later, hey, I've done everything I possibly could. It'd be interesting to see. Nobody works like that typically. Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's typically like, all right, hey, what is your lifestyle currently? All right, get tested first thing in the morning, which is, you know, around when your testosterone is probably at its highest, or at least there's not a lot going against it. You haven't eaten all day. You haven't been super stressed. Your cortisol levels are probably typically on the rise. Like everything should be perfect to say, okay, well, this is your testosterone at a fairly high level with your current lifestyle. Are there lifestyle changes that can obviously affect it? 100%. If someone's got the shittiest lifestyle and they change quite a few things to optimize, I think, there could be a huge jump, potentially a long term.
I'm definitely projecting on the story because I don't know if you know by it all, but my brothers and I, we had a YouTube channel called Raw Bras, and we did a raw vegan diet in the beginning, and we like experimented with that. And we all got to a point where we knew our testosterone must be low because we are getting skinnier and chubbier.
Oh, no kidding.
And I was like, and I don't know if I was getting morning wood anymore. Yeah. I thought like our gum lines and our hair, like gum line maybe receding, our hair was maybe looking thinner, nails may have been looking thinner. And I was like, this is outrageous. Dude. So I went to go get my blood tested. Yeah. And then they tested my test. And I had to convince them to test my testosterone. Kind of like what you alluded to earlier. They're like, you're like unreal, 22. Dude. Like, you don't need your testosterone. I'm like, no, I've been eating a radical diet. And they're like, we're going to have to pay for them. Okay, just please, can you add this test? And they're like, okay, all right, whatever. Yeah. And then they come back and they're ready to prescribe me testosterone because it was an 89.
Jesus.
Yeah, it was so low.
That's outrageous.
I've never got my testosterone tested since then because all I did that night, I ate like a pound of salmon. I woke up the next morning feeling so different. Yeah. Like everything, like what shifted the most was all of a sudden I was like thinking about women. Like I wanted to get a haircut. Like I wanted to, and I felt like women's energy much more, and I felt like they were looking at me much more. Yeah. And I woke up in morning wood for sure. Like it was just like, oh my gosh, I almost forgot about this. Yeah. And then I started thinking sharper. Yes. And like quicker and like more decisiveness. Yeah. And then I wanted to I could work out and lift weights as well. Yeah. But we depleted ourselves.
That's crazy.
And I could feel it. I knew it. So in the test, I guess it affirmed it. Yeah. But I didn't need to do that test. I guess I needed to in my mind at that point because I was kind of caught up in this raw vegan dogma.
Yeah. Well, and you're a very different person.
Yeah.
You're very unique. I mean, we have people that are more in that biohacking mindset to where it's like, dude, I've been experimenting with the carnivore diet and I want to check like my baseline was X when I was doing this. I want to see, did the carnivore diet improve my levels? Okay, cool. Love that. It's just the general population isn't like that. Yeah. So that's our target market, obviously, is like, I want to help the people that don't have the mindset or, you know, the knowledge that you do or the the want to have the knowledge, because everyone could have the knowledge. It's all there. But those are the people that we're here to help, is the people that have no idea. They come to us and they're like, it's not even specifically related to hormones. They're like, I feel like dog shit. Can you help me? And it's like, yeah. I mean, it might take some time, but yeah, we can help. We just have to figure out like what the cause is.
And how long has Elixium been open?
Elixium itself has only been open 18 months. We've been in the industry for about 12 years.
Okay.
Yeah, we started with a male TRT clinic back in the day.
Oh, wow. And when you say we, who are you?
My dad and I.
So y'all are running this together?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow. That's so cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yep. So, yeah, we started at a clinic back when it was like ageless male and low T was the only thing really out there. And then a local doctor that everyone would probably know, started a testosterone clinic. And yeah, we worked for him, which was great.
Wow.
Because we learned the things to do and the things not to do. And then we just kept improving upon that. So this is actually my 4th clinic that I've been involved with.
I love it. It's a family business like that.
Yeah, yeah. That's cool.
What's your family structure? Do you have a family of your
I do.
own?
Yep. I have my wife. We've been married 8 years as of 2 weeks ago.
Oh wow, nice.
And then I have a daughter who's 5 and a son who's 3 months.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So we're in the thick of it.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
What's your children's names?
Rory is my daughter.
Rory.
And Ryland is my son.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they'll have that double R for their initials.
Yeah. Yeah. Which was, yeah. We didn't necessarily do it on purpose.
Are their middle names R's as well?
No. My daughter's name is Rory Nix and my son's name is Ryland Ford.
Okay.
So we went more unique with that. We were going to do both RNs, but we decided like, no, we should probably differentiate a little bit.
And then what do you have the most fun doing with the older one currently? I have an 8-year-old, so I'm curious.
Do you? That's where, dude, it's hard because I'm a very focused, goal-oriented individual. So it's like when I'm doing something, I'm 100% all in on that, which is it's a downfall for me for sure. Because I don't do nearly enough with her. I mean, we do a lot of she's very creative. So we do a lot of coloring, art projects, things like that. My wife and her family are definitely like that outdoorsy, like they're the ones that are going camping, taking her.
Do they live in Colorado?
Yeah.
Your wife's family as well?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
All of our families pretty much are central to Colorado, which is super nice.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah. It's been very,
that
very
seems
helpful.
to be a way of longevity.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Community.
Yeah.
Huge.
Especially
I mean, we learned that during COVID, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was definitely a spike in just like the stress, depression, anxiety. I mean, there's a huge component to being social, especially with like family. I think that's huge. That connection is huge for sure.
And since y'all have a physical space here in Wheat Ridge, is there any patterns that you're seeing that people are struggling with? And like, is there like, wow, a lot of people are having quality breathing issues, or a lot of people are being exposed to this. Is there any kind of Colorado pattern? Because Boulder is such a healthy town relative.
No, there's nothing specific, I don't think, to Colorado that I know of, I guess. I'm trying to think now.
Yeah.
Because that's a very interesting question.
Because most of my clients are all spread out. Right? Yeah. And I don't get to see them all like you do.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think maybe because we're going into the telemed side of things, because I think that's the best way to get, capture obviously the largest audience and to help the most amount of people the right way. Because that's our goal. Is there's a lot of telemedicine companies out there that are doing it poorly. I mean, the GLP-1 market is the most ridiculous thing ever. And everyone can get it. The fact that you and I can go on and get GLP-1s right now if we wanted to is ridiculous to me. But anyways, so we're going into that space. I think
that's a good idea.
Not for the general public.
Yeah,
I think there's
it almost sounds like general public though, GLPs, meaning like Ozempic.
Yeah. It does. Yeah. It's good for a specific person. I mean, it's got its positives and its negatives. That's a whole other topic we can get on. But I think once we get into that space, like actually treating people in, 6, 7, 8 different states and understanding, all right, well, the dynamic or the issues we're finding in Texas are much different than Colorado. I think that's when we maybe can, observe the data.
Yeah.
And be like, okay, Colorado is a hit market for X, because obviously we struggle with whatever it is, whether it's an altitude related thing, or if it's, it could be geopolitical for all intents and purposes. Who knows what it could be.
Well, I just think of Boulder, and I'm like,
yeah,
even Boulder compared to Wheat Ridge, there's just not many people with excess weight on their body here.
You're absolutely right. We are healthier.
I'm not trying to be a weightist, but it's like kind of literal. Like you can just walk around and see.
I agree with you.
And you just go to the airport. You're like, oh yeah. Whoops.
I agree with you. 100%. Boulder's, in another category in itself, I think. But Colorado as a whole is a healthy state, unless you go to Weld County. But
which
Colorado
is interesting to think about. How like how the environmental, I'm not sure what the word is, but how like the environment you're living in really seems to correlate with how people's bodies are.
Yeah, it is. And how people are living. Because I would say like Castle Rock, where I live, is similar-ish to Boulder in the sense of like everyone's fairly healthy. We're fairly outdoors people. Like we're outside quite a bit. There's a lot of stuff going on all the time. Younger, healthier people typically live in Castle Rock, and that's similar to Boulder. I think that's the case. Yeah, whereas like you go to Weld County or even Denver, and it's like, you see that weight difference. The biggest change that I ever saw, because I'm not a big traveler either. I don't travel a lot, which I know is polar opposite of you, because that's all you do.
I used to, but now I travel the blocks of Boulder very frequently.
Okay.
But I used to travel a lot more.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Okay. I want to know about your travel. So, but I went to Tennessee, and it was like Crossville, Tennessee. So it's like middle of nowhere, Tennessee. And there's like 3 or 4 restaurants in the town when we went the first time. And it was like 3 fast food restaurants and 1 Italian restaurant. And the difference in health was insane. Obesity is like, it's more common to see obese people than it is like thinner people. Like go to Walmart and you're like, Jesus, dude, we are in a completely different world.
Yeah, we are. It's
insane. It's the most insane thing.
The Boulder bubble's a wild one. How are we doing on timing?
47.
Look at that. I did it again. I've done that 3 times in a row.
47 minutes?
I've asked 3 times, and it's been 47 every time
kidding.
I've asked. Yeah.
That's insane.
That's my daughter's birthday, 247.
Oh, nice.
April 7th.
There's something to be said.
Oh, well, what's the best way for people to follow you, and what's the website for the company?
Yeah, the website is joinelixium.com, and best way to follow us, probably Instagram is probably the platform I'm most engaged with.
Okay.
But the website obviously has all the information that you need about what we do, what we can provide.
And we can throw your personal Instagram up there too.
Yeah, sure.
Which is, how do people find you on Instagram?
My personal, I think it's like DRedAII, which is number 2.
We'll see if we can find that link.
Yeah. You'll be able to find it pretty easily.
Cool.
It's newer, so I don't have many followers on that. But yeah, the business one is my primary. That's the one I focus on the most. But yeah.
Awesome. What your tattoos there? What's that one part, like the vein? Do I see like a vein of sorts there?
Yeah, so it's biomechanical. Once again, something I started when I was 18. I was obviously I think all guys are specifically, but I was a very stupid 18-year-old.
Well,
I was extremely compulsive.
That testosterone run around 900 naturally.
Dude, I was just on one all the time. Dude, I got a biomechanical tattoo to start, and it was like it was dumb. It was a stupid tattoo too.
Well, it's kind of intriguing.
So I went to my tattoo artist when I was older, and I'm like, what do we want to do with this? He's like, well, we can like fill it all in, or we can just kind of improve it and continue it down your arm. And I was like, yeah, I'm in my early 20s. Like, why not? Let's do that. And now I'm in my 30s, and I'm like, I could have probably been more intentional with it, but it works. It's not done yet though. So
Okay.
we have
All
about
right.
24 hours left on it to actually finish it. So, yeah.
And is there anything you wanted to make sure we talked about that we may not have by any chance? Is there anything you make sure?
Well, you.
Okay, you want? Yeah, if you have any questions for me, I'm happy to explore.
Yeah. I have a number of questions. I want to read your book, first of all.
Great. This is the last copy I have, and I'll sign it and give it to you.
Oh, hell yeah. Okay.
I'll just get more copies, but yeah, Breaking Normal, baby. I definitely recommend it on Audible.
Do you? Do you read it?
Yep. And
Perfect.
JP does as well, but I would definitely want to sign this for you. So
Okay. Yeah, because I looked into that and it was intriguing.
yeah, that's fine
for sure.
I honestly, I probably could promote it more.
You could.
Yeah.
Your reviews are great on Amazon.
Yeah. That's probably when I promoted it right from the start, pretty good.
Yeah. Did you?
Yeah, his books are interesting. I mean,
when did you write?
There's like a parts of it that I would like to update. Maybe
Sure.
that's why I'm a little hesitant.
Come out with version 2.
Like the back cover. What was your question? Then when did I come out with it?
Yeah,
I believe it was May 2017.
2017. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What would you update?
The back cover and a little bit like an update of my life, maybe like a whole new concept of like breaking the new normal with that whole thing that happened in 2020.
Yeah, that one thing.
Yeah, that and how the government got so involved and how.
Yeah.
Gosh, I think I could relate to it in some ways because a lot of times I wonder about how the whole Nazi thing worked because my grandparents survived the Holocaust.
No kidding.
And I almost felt like I was starting to see how something like that could happen during that time.
Yeah, the propaganda.
Yeah, it was just so disturbing, especially with smart people, like intelligent. Let me say intelligent people.
100%. I could list some people, but I'm not going to right now.
Yeah, I'm not trying to like throw anyone under the bus right now, but it was definitely a very alarming thing about what normal is and how fast normal can change and how it is important to change normal, but it's also important to maybe keep choosing our normal. And so it's just kind of expounding upon that. And then, you know, my daughter's grown older. My personal life has changed. Yeah. I was married to my daughter's mom when I published this book.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So that's been a big difference.
Okay.
Like, wow. That whole thing of being a single parent and a single dad to a daughter. And there's a lot of, who knows? Maybe it's a whole new book.
Oh, that was my next question. What's the next book? Because it seems like you said you haven't been traveling as much.
Yeah. Not far. More.
What caused that? Is that because of the single parent thing?
Basically because of what happened with the culture.
Yeah.
Because, you know, all of a sudden travel was a taboo topic, so taboo to think about.
True.
Mixed in with my personal life and mixed in with my daughter was like kind of getting old enough to start kindergarten.
Yeah.
So it was time to choose a community potentially, especially the way my personal life was going. And landing right in Boulder, like next to one of my favorite beaches in the world. It's like a creek beach, right? Like less than a mile from like the best school for my daughter. Okay. It's like, here we are now, 5 years later.
Because you're from San Diego, right?
That's where my daughter was born.
Okay.
I was born in Miami, but kindergarten to college, I was in Georgia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Miami to Georgia to San Diego?
Miami to Georgia to like a lot of places, 50 states, 20 something countries, and
that's a lot of experiences.
Mostly if I had one spot that was the longest, it's probably San Diego.
Yeah.
Followed probably by Hawaii, then Costa Rica, then Austin, and then Georgia.
Okay.
Those are the top 5 spots probably for like 10 years, but we were all a lot of different places, including Israel, Tel Aviv. I want to go back there for sure. Holy moly.
Yeah. I've heard. That's the place to go.
Yeah, it's so cool.
For sure.
Yeah, that's like definitely one of the coolest places I've ever been.
Yeah. It's a different culture. That's for sure.
From what I've heard. And the fitness level, definitely competitive with Boulder, if I'm remembering correctly. And the beaches are beautiful. And there's like workout equipment everywhere, outdoor workout equipment. And then like a very social. The social life is not for the faint of heart, I would almost say. Just like very direct and very. I still never forget how I was like, man, these people are so socially advanced. And I don't go to a place where I'm like, I just feel like
you're almost challenged.
It's like this is like me how I challenge people.
Yeah,
this is almost like this is normal here. Yeah. I'm like, what is this? This is crazy.
Yeah, it's odd. We're apparently not that social of a society in the U.S., which is crazy because I have heard that from many people. Where would you?
And the women in bikinis with the AK or AR guns rolling around, that was something
that's actually
different. That created a little cognitive dissonance in my life. Shit, like 18, that girl was like 19 and hot with a bikini, and that gun could probably kill
Oh
all
my
of us in a
gosh.
second. Like,
That's
what is going
insane.
on here?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to go to Tel Aviv. That sounds great.
And the Dead Sea nearby in
Yeah.
Jerusalem. That was definitely one of the most memorable trips of my life for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be cool. That would be cool for sure. Where would you live, like, permanently? Like, where's your favorite place? Is it Boulder?
Boulder, yeah.
Yeah.
It's up. It's there because my daughter loves living here.
Yeah.
And it's like, even talking about, sometimes I'll like pitch a trip of sorts, but my daughter might just love going to school with her friends the most.
Interesting.
So
That's how my daughter would be. My daughter is like a social butterfly.
So yeah,
She loves friends. She loves people. She loves people, really. But so I can relate to that.
Yeah, and then we live like in literally like my favorite part of Boulder.
Yeah.
So it's a pretty simple, like little beach type of life in the summer. And then I run my business from here. And I feel like this town is extremely supportive
Yeah.
to what I do for my business.
Oh, yeah.
Even the mascot itself of the Colorado Buffs.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
I've had
you are
like,
in
the
the
team
town,
directors buy supplements, like a lot of the athletic
Heck yeah.
directors. And, so I would like to get something brewing with those CU Buffs in a bigger way.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I love Boulder. It's the sunniest place I've lived. No traffic. You don't need a car.
Isn't that odd that you come from the Sunshine State? And
Oh yeah,
because I'm from St. Pete. So
Okay, yeah.
I know it's like, well, it's the Sunshine State. It's sunny all the time. I'm like, dude, we have like, what is it? Like almost 100 less days of sunshine than
Yeah.
we do here. And I'm like, this is the Sunshine State.
It's sunny here, and we get all the seasons, and so many people come through.
Yeah.
So it's like I almost feel like I'm traveling just by like walking around the block. Like if I
Yeah.
walk the block long enough,
The diversity's there.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah.
That's fair. So do you just have Tribe?
Yeah, and this podcast. This
And this
podcast
podcast.
definitely supports Tribe Vitamins, and it opens up the world to all kinds of things.
Yeah.
Like one of our biggest buyers became, he was a doctor I interviewed,
Okay.
and he became one of our biggest buyers.
Interesting.
Yeah, and like so, people are like, "Is the podcast worth it?" I'm like, that one conversation, and every conversation is
Yeah.
worth it.
Well,
in
because
the
I want
sense-
to talk to you about how we can get involved in wholesale or whatever.
Yeah, especially
So-
y'all being local.
Yeah.
And I love that aspect of
right down the
it.
street pretty
And
much.
now that we know each other,
Yeah.
yeah, that's like, so I love this podcast for that reason.
That's
I
huge.
really love this podcast. And I do think it's has room to be so much more successful in even bigger ways. Like I would like to think about a few sponsors. I recently did that. And when I went to Hawaii recently, we did it through this Trusted House Sitters gig.
Okay.
That kind of blew my mind. I'm like, I want that company to sponsor this podcast
Interesting.
because I believe in that. Because
What
I
is
used
it?
to travel, like I said, like 10 plus years pretty nomadically, but I didn't use Trusted House Sitters. And it's basically an app where like myself having dogs or if I even have plants or a cat or whatever, or
Yeah.
an iguana or a bird, I can list it for the Trusted House Sitters to apply to take care of it.
No kidding.
And they just stay for free.
Brilliant.
And they take care of the pets.
Yeah.
And there was this epic place in Hawaii that came with a car,
Yeah.
and it was just like right where we wanted to be.
Yeah.
And they allowed our whole family to come, and we watched their like
Dude,
one puppy and two cats.
I will have to check that out.
And it was like, okay. And I'm like, now I'm like, that's breaking normal. Like I didn't, that wasn't a part of my nomadic life. I'm like, that
Yeah.
is such a thing. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
That's
and the
cool.
more I look into it, there's people doing it full time. There are people that looks like they're just bouncing from one to the next, from one paradise to the
crazy.
next, from Italy to New Zealand to Iceland to Australia to here
Just
to
house
Hawaii.
sitting, essentially.
Yeah,
That's what they're doing.
yeah,
That's brilliant. That's a brilliant concept.
yeah. Because my traveling, when I traveled, a lot of my my kind of my like one of the leaving philosophy of it was like a traveler or a tourist goes to see the sights and a traveler goes to be part of the scene. And I felt much more like being a traveler. Like I
Yeah.
want to go live like a local.
Sure.
I want to see what it's like for them.
100%.
I don't want to go to the Four Seasons in Jamaica and every other country and can barely tell a difference.
Right. I was going to say Mexico is probably that one place that nobody really goes and becomes a local.
Yeah.
Like you're going for a vacation.
I've been in the back of a police truck in Mexico. I've been walked down the beach from multiple police with guns that they said don't turn around. I have
you've-
surfed some dangerous spots. Yeah, like
You've become the
I've become
native
too
there.
much of
Yeah.
a. Yeah, that's a place that's, and I've also done the touristy things in Mexico, like Chichen Itza
Oh yeah.
and like the Yucatan Peninsula, and oh my gosh, oh wow.
Yeah.
Anyways,
That's a great.
I love traveling. I think it's sort
Yeah.
of the ultimate life experience, and I think, ironically, most people like talking about it more than doing it.
Dude, that is 100%. I was just going to say, I'm the guy that is constantly saying, dude, that's what I work for, is to have that lifestyle to travel. And then inevitably I'll be in my 70s and be like, fuck, I worked my entire life and I never even traveled at all.
Well,
Because my wife wants to travel. Like, that's her go-to. She's like, whatever we do, like, get us to a position to where you can just do everything you need to anywhere we are.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's a fantastic idea. But once again, I have to actually like commit to that.
There might be
like, all right,
something
let's do it.
there, because like my youngest brother, we used to do retreats with him, and he kind of didn't want to do them anymore. And then it was like that. He's noticed, it seems like that might be in his personal life. He'd rather not travel.
Interesting.
He seems like he has more fun staying at home. And my dad hasn't flown for like 30 years.
What?
Yeah, he's like, well, you want to take a flight? He's like that. It's just is disgusted by that idea.
That's interesting. That's like, my mom's like that. And my dad's like polar opposite. I wanted to ask you about your retreats.
Oh yeah.
That was one thing. What exactly were your retreats like?
Oh man, they were different every time. Like for the first few years, they were through the Rob Ross YouTube channel.
Okay.
With my brothers.
Yeah.
And the itinerary was expect nothing, experience everything. That's all they knew. They just knew what airport to fly in, to book their flights in.
So if I was going to go do your retreat, I would know nothing about.
Yeah, but you most likely, except for the first one, you would have seen video retreat recaps. And so that's what happened. People like saw like 10 testimonies from 10 different people.
Yeah.
And most of the testimonies were around like feeling more connected with this group of people than they've felt with anyone in their life. And then a lot of the adventures and the food. We provided the best local food possible. Yep. And we did more of the like traveler / local adventures rather than like getting in line as a tour on as some sort of sinkhole of anyways. I traveled so much that, and we would vlog about it, and people were kind of had this the people that would watch our video blogs, I think, had a full trust that like I want to go with them, and I don't want to have an itinerary. 100%. I want to just go like experience that for a week.
Sounds that actually sounds super cool.
And that's kind of what we did. So they get there, we have like all you can drink coconuts, all you can eat of the best fruit. You know, we're going to go kill a goat for anyone that wants to be a part of this. And it was all revolved around the exercises in this book. And that's how we got people to feel really connected with each other.
Interesting.
And it was a lot of like basically helping people like ruin their reputation to find out there's like something much more connective than that.
Okay.
It's like breaking addiction to approval so they could just like get addicted to the moment.
The presence.
Yeah. And especially teaming up with other people that are willing to do that. It was a very special thing to do in like paradise type of locations.
Absolutely.
My brother was just pitching me a day, like, why don't we do one in Boulder?
Well, yeah.
Why don't we just do one in Boulder?
You're kind of in the hub for tourism.
Because he was in Hawaii with me. He's like, what's the easiest is to do one in Colorado.
100%.
But maybe we will. Maybe we will. Maybe we'll be a part of it.
My dad's dream, like his goal in life from a professional standpoint, is he wants to do like health retreats. Like that's what he wants to do. He wants to develop this, health optimization retreat thing. And I'm always like, dude, I don't even know where to start with it. It's like, all right, do you have it centralized? Like, do we actually like buy a enormous mansion in the mountains?
We did that many times. We did 2 retreats in Colorado over the years, and one was in Breckenridge, and that's what we did. We rented a huge mansion, and it was actually set up. It was like a corporate retreat center. So like the side of the mansion was like a rock climbing wall. It was like right next to the Blue River, where there was multiple polar plunging spots. They had like all these activities, like outdoor activities set up, like cornhole and beyond. Yeah, and that was we had like 25, maybe 30 people, and like 14 bedrooms. Okay. Well, no, not 14. They were like 10 bedrooms.
How'd you staff it?
It's usually my brother, and that one, it was my daughter's mom and a few other people that we had trained to do the retreats with us.
Gotcha.
Because they were like kind of interested in learning how to do this themselves as well. So that was like kind of a bit of a side up service we were offering towards the end of the decade there.
Yeah. Because that's the hardest part with what I'm thinking is like, all right, how would you do like a health and wellness or a longevity retreat? Like it would have to be almost tailored to a specific niche. Maybe?
Well, I think if it's your dad's dream, I think it's very important, like a conversation with him. Like, what does that mean? Does he want to have 50 people, or does he want to have 500 people that he talks to from the stage, or does he want to have 50 people in a circle where everyone talks? Does he want to have 20 people that all live in the same house, or do you just want to meet from 8 to 5?
Right.
We did it all in for 3 nights.
I think he wants an all in intimate. Like
I agree. I think that's so fun because I've been part of so many. There's like meet and greet, shake hands, see tomorrow experiences. It's very different than when you sleep under the same roof.
For sure.
And then like when something weird happens and you all get to deal with it. And everyone 100%. Gets to feel it and everyone gets to process it together rather than like people showing up in the morning after their own night.
Yeah.
That's a wild situation.
No, that's totally right.
A lot of times we had retreats too where it was hard to leave. It was not, it was like, it was out like to leave because there was a continuous pattern of testimonies that like a lot of people said, if I could have left, I would have left after the first night. And I am so happy I stayed. And they would get on camera and they would talk. And then like, all right, next retreat's filled up.
Yeah.
Video testimonies are
huge
for trustworthy businesses.
Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah.
It's hard with our industry with the health aspect of things because you have people that just don't want to talk about it.
Exactly.
They're like, I don't want to tell everyone that I'm on TRT. Like that makes me look bad.
Yeah.
There's still that stigma, but I completely agree.
Does Elixium also offer TRT as well?
We do. I mean, we do. That's what our niche used to be.
Okay.
Is testosterone replacement. We were really good with males. We extended it out to females, brought on providers that had that in-depth knowledge of women's health. And then we kind of just went out and we were doing more weight loss type stuff with GLP-1s coming out and all that. We were like, all right, we need to do this well. And we need to actually like create treatment plans that show, all right, how to do it properly and show longevity with it rather than, hey, you're going to be on it for either the rest of your life or you're going to be on it for a stint and then you're just going to come off of it cold turkey. Like there's ways to do it properly. And then we got into, the thyroid. We've been involved with that forever, but then there's like autoimmune diseases associated with that. Everything just kept coming back to the gut, which is why we're hyper focused on the gut as like that's the staple. Mm-hmm. And that should be almost like the initiating topic really to talk about is like, all right, we need to talk about gut first because the gut's probably controlling a lot of the issues that people are having. But ultimately, I want to be like that full circle approach. I'd love to have the mental health side of things. I'd love to have it all at some point, but you can only be good at a few things.
Well, I'm stoked we met. I'm stoked Bell connected us and that there was a way to partner with Tribe Vitamins and what you're doing and just to know you.
Man.
Keep breaking normal.
It's been good. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Yvel. See y'all next time.